Hello everybody. So today I will talk about calculus. The topic today is about integration. So now I will show you how to answer. We have the formula in here. The integration of s to the power of n. You got about s to the power of n plus 1 over n plus 1. And we put about c in here. That's about the constant. Now we can apply the formula for this one. We know that s in here, that's about s to the power of number 1. So if we do this integration, we know that this is about the constant. So we just write 3e to the power of 2. The integration of s, you got about s squared over 2. And we put about c. And this is the answer for question number 1. Now let's go to number 2. Similar for number 1, we have s. So the integration of s, you got about s squared over 2. But we have number 5. So 5 with number 2, you got about 10. About this one, the square root of s over s, that's about s to the power of 1 over 2 divided by s. So you got about s to the power of 1 over 2 minus 1. So 1 over 2 minus 1, you got about s to the power of negative 1 over 2. And now the integration of this one, you got about s to the power of negative 1 over 2 plus 1 over negative 1 over 2 plus 1. And we put about c in here. Negative 1 over 2 plus 1, you got about 1 over 2. And this is the answer for question number 2. Now let's go to the next one. The integration of secant theta tan theta, you got about secant theta. Because first derivative of this one, you got about this one in here. The integration of e to the power of theta, you got about same e theta. And now we put about c in here. And this is the answer for question number 1. Number 3. Now let's go to the next one. This one we can write into the square root of number 3, s to the power of 1 over 2 minus 5 sine s. This one we apply the formula. The integration of sine s, you got about, because the integration of sine s, you got about negative cosine s. Negative with negative, you got about positive. And we put about c in here. This one you got about 3 over 2. And this is the final answer. The next one, we apply same formula. Six divided by 2, you got about 3. 12 divided by 3, you got about 4. This one, you got about 2 over 3 plus 1 over 2 over 3 plus 1. And we put about c. So this one you got about 5 over 3 over 5 over 3. And we put about c in here. Now we apply the same formula in here. A divided by 4, you got about 2. Twelve divided by 2, you got about 6. And this is the answer. Now let's go to the next one. 2s divided by s to the power of 3. You got about s squared. This one you got about 4. This one we just already did that in here. So the integration of this one, you got about negative number 2 over s. This one you got about 4. This one you got about, for s. This one you got about secant of s. And we put about c in here. And this is the answer for question. Now let's go to the next one. S squared divided by s, you got about s. S divided by s, you got about 1. And this one you got about s squared over 2 plus s, and we put about c. And the last one, the integration of cosine s, you got about sine s. This one you got about negative cosine s. This one you got about e to the power of s, and we put about c. And that's it, the answer for everything in here. This is the end. Thank you for watching.